My name is Ashley Strom, and this is my introduction video. A little bit about myself. I've been married to my husband Keith for 12 years, and I'm a mom of 4. When I'm not doing grad school homework or teaching, I enjoy reading, shopping, traveling, and spending time with my family. I graduated from Emporia State University in 2005 with a bachelor's in elementary education and a minor in special education, and I'm currently enrolled in my 4th semester of grad school. I have 10.5 years of teaching experience. The first 7.5 years I spent as a special education teacher at the elementary level with kindergarten through 5th grade. And then I just finished my 3rd year of teaching 3rd grade at Lincoln Elementary in Augusta. So Lincoln Elementary is located in Augusta, which is about 15 minutes east of Wichita. It's a kindergarten through 5th grade school. We have 2 sections of each grade level, about 235 students. We're a non-Title I school. 0% of our students are English language learners. 21% of our students have IEPs, and our motto at Lincoln is to build leaders. When it comes to the data that we collect at the school and district level, it's mandated by our district. And for English language arts, we use DIBELS 3 times a year for all students. And then we also use it to progress monitor Tier 2 and Tier 3 students, either bi-weekly or weekly. We use the Quick Phonics Screener to identify phonics skills that students that are Tier 2 or Tier 3 must work on. And then sometimes we use the phonological awareness skills test to identify those skills that students need to work on. We use the STAR test to identify reading levels for students, collect writing samples throughout the year to show growth from beginning to the end. And we also use the Kansas State assessments, which you get the scores from at the end of the year, and we use those to drive instruction for the following years to see what areas we need to work on in our areas of strength. In the area of math, we use the Envision placement test provided by our math curriculum at the beginning and end of the year. The beginning of the year test looks at the standards from the previous school year, and the end of the year looks at the standards that were covered in the current school year. We also give the unit test for each topic at the end of the chapter. We take notes about how students are progressing through solving word problems in cognitively guided instruction, and then teachers like myself use exit slips, 1 or 2 problems at the end of a lesson to see how students are catching on to the material. And again, the Kansas State assessments, we use that to drive instruction for the following school year. When it comes to the data that we collect, we use the DIBELS data, the Quick Phonics Screener data, to group students into MTSS groups for reading. We don't currently have any MTSS support for math. We monitor the students' progress. We use the district mandated protocols, but the data is not always effectively used because a lot of the teachers don't understand how to use the data to drive their instruction. When I critique my own personal knowledge of data, I collect data every day, whether it's academic, social, behavioral, and I use that data to meet my students' needs, mostly for my Tier 2 and Tier 3 students. I use it to identify my students' strengths, their areas of need, help my class to set goals that we work towards together, and I help students to set personal learning goals and track their own progress so that they're actively involved in their own learning. And I use it to evaluate my effectiveness as a teacher as well. So I feel like my knowledge of data is pretty basic, and I know there's a lot more that I could do with it. My plan of improvement would be to collaborate effectively. So I share the importance of why we collect the data and why it's important to analyze and use the data to drive instruction. And I feel like in order to do that, we have to meet consistently, value the information that each person on the team brings. So we create that team approach, balance the data with teacher input, and then just share that information with parents, administrators, and stakeholders so we're all on the same page and working toward that common goal of making sure all students achieve. And I also feel like I need to always analyze the data for all students. Like I mentioned, I'm really good about looking at the Tier 2 and Tier 3 students' data and helping them in meeting their needs, but I need to make sure that I'm developing better techniques for monitoring the progress of my Tier 1 or my enrichment students as well. So I just need to continue to involve students in monitoring their progress no matter what tier they're at, and involving them in adapting instruction as needed. These are the standards that I felt reflected the information that I used in my plan and evaluating myself. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to learning a lot more. Thanks.